I wore a $12 dress to a job interview at a luxury fashion company. They hired me on the spot for reasons I never expected. When my dream job at Ellison & Grace Luxury Fashion opened up, I was desperate to apply despite being broke. After 3 months of unemployment, my bank account was in the single digits and my wardrobe consisted mostly of thrift store finds. The night before the interview, I panicked. How could I possibly interview at a company where employees wore designer clothes daily? Their CEO had been on the cover of Vogue. I couldn't show up in something from Mikeston. Then I remembered the black dress I'd impulse bought from a sketchy online store for $12. It had been sitting in my drawer unworn because it looked remarkably similar to a famous designer piece I could never afford. The fabric was cheap, but in photos it photographed like something 10 times its price. It was my only option. The morning of the interview, I spent an hour steaming out wrinkles and reinforcing loose seams. I paired it with my only decent bag and shoes that I'd polished to hide their scuffs. From a distance, I looked presentable, up close. You could tell my entire outfit cost less than the hiring manager's coffee. When I arrived at their sleek Manhattan office, everyone was impeccably dressed in clothes that probably cost more than my rent. I felt the receptionist's eyes linger on my dress, and I knew I'd made a terrible mistake. The interview panel consisted of 3 women, including the creative director, whose work I'd admired for years. 10 minutes in, she interrupted my answer about marketing strategies. "I need to ask about your dress," she said. My heart sank. This was it? They'd realized I was a fraud in fast fashion. Is that the DuPont knockoff from Fashion Nova? I froze, then decided honesty was my only option. "It's actually from a site called Compre Express, $12 with free shipping." To my shock, she smiled. "At Keysigne, we've been tracking these replicas for months." The speed from runway to mass market keeps accelerating, she turned to her colleagues. "This is exactly what I've been talking about. Our design cycle is too slow." For the next 40 minutes, they asked me to analyze how fast fashion was replicating luxury designs at increasing speeds. They showed me photos of other knockoffs and asked for my thoughts on quality, design fidelity, and market positioning. By the end of the interview, I wasn't just a candidate, I was a case study. "We need someone who understands both worlds," the creative director said. "Maishaman, who can help us compete with the speed of these replicas while maintaining our quality standards." They offered me the job as their new market response strategist before I left the building. My first assignment: analyzing the supply chains of the very companies producing the knockoffs I'd been wearing. Sometimes your greatest disadvantage becomes your unique perspective, and sometimes a $12 dress is actually the perfect interview outfit if you are interviewing for a job that didn't exist until you walked in the room.